Hey everybody, welcome to day 158, and we are reading John chapter 18 verses 1 through 24 today. And so here we are finally at the Garden of Gethsemane, and John states that they are traveling to the garden, and the other Gospels state that they're in Gethsemane, which apparently is a garden that they visit often, because it says that Judas knew the place where they would be. And they are approached, of course, the disciples and Jesus are approached by Judas and officials of the temple, as well as Roman commanders, it says. And notice that they come in and they have torches and lanterns, they have weapons, and Jesus says, "Why are you approaching me like a robber or a thief?" And it's just something to note that they were thinking they were coming in for a fight. And we know that Jesus went with them willingly because he knew that the hour had come and that he knew this was his time to submit to what God had called him to do. And so then one of the interesting things that John notes here is when Judas and the people that are with him approach Jesus, they said, "Are you Jesus of Nazareth?" which of course is one of his common identifications. And he said, "I am he." And just those words alone drove those people back, and they fell to the ground. And that's just something so supernatural to note, that just by speaking the words, "I am he," it threw them off their game. It drove them back and fell to the ground. And so we can just see the power of Jesus's words here, and he is showing his infinite power to the people that are coming to arrest him. And so when they ask again, and he says, "I am," we see that he does not use his power to drive them back, and everything is normal that second time. So we can see a difference here when we're reading that scripture. Of course, Peter, as they're taking Jesus, stands up and is going to try to fight for Jesus by drawing his sword and slicing off the ear of one of the people that are coming to arrest him. And we know from the Gospels that Jesus says, "Peter, stop," and he picks up the ear and puts it back on and heals the man. Jesus does this, number one, to protect the rest of the disciples, because he doesn't want a huge fight to break out, but also because he says, "Am I not to drink this cup from the Father?" He knows that this is his time, and this is the hour that he has to go, and he has to surrender to the will of the Father. And so he's brought before Annas and put on trial, per se. What we see here is they don't even follow their own rules of how the trial is supposed to proceed, and how somebody who's brought to trial is supposed to be able to defend themselves. And they ask him, "Are you preaching these things?" And he says, "Well, why don't you ask the people who are listening to him?" That's actually, I'm not hiding. I've never been hiding. I've been in the synagogues. I've been in the temples. You can hear what I've been saying, and the people who have heard me can tell you. And this is to show, number one, that Jesus was never hiding what he was doing. He was always truthful and speaking in truth. But number two, just to show that they're supposed to actually find witnesses, and ones that have actually heard Jesus, and they don't do this. They know what they're doing is inherently wrong. But remember that Caiaphas earlier had said to sacrifice one for the whole of the nation. And his prophecy, unknowing prophecy, is coming true, because Jesus surrenders himself to these people because he knows what he has to do. And so as we begin this journey to the cross, for the last time in the Gospel of John, let's just be reminded that Jesus went willingly, and that he knew he had to be our sacrifice to bridge the gap that was created by sin. So, hope you have a wonderful day, and just think upon those words today.